Hello everyone, this is Junel, and today we're going to be going over how to lead a defense on Adun. We're going to be opening this base very soon, and this is a very complicated base that I've taken a very long time to learn. Before I begin, I want to make a disclaimer. I am in no way the best raid leader. On this base, there are much better raid leaders than me. I have a much more than basic understanding. I would say that I have a very good understanding of how to play the base. However, I have not mastered it. I'm just giving you the strategy guide that I use to win all of my defenses on this map against good teams, bad teams, and in between teams. So before I begin, the first section we're going to be going over here is the intro, and I will, in the description, I will put timestamps for each section. I will separate this video by section, and then we'll separate it by phase. So phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, and then each phase will have a situational guide so that you know how to outplay and outsmart your enemy based on certain things that they do. So, as an intro, want to go over a few things. This is completely unscripted. I'm just going off of pure memory. So, number one, don't worry too much about payload. Once payload is put in place and is being captured and raiders have stood on it and the time is going down, think of it as a regular terminal, because you have to roll the terminal all the way back to 0 to move it back. In overtime, however, all you have to do is cap it fully, and you will get the win. So, for example, before I begin phase 1, I will show you what I mean by don't worry about the terminal. So, most important thing for you to remember is the phase 3 strategy here, where a really good raiding team, what they're going to do is they're going to move terminal to about here, and then they're going to rally here, jump over the force field, push around here, completely avoid tower and the recon, and try to kill your people at force field and barrier, and you know what I mean. But while they're doing that, they have nobody on the payload over here. Some very smart leaders will have 2 people sit right here, maybe they're medics or something, whatever they want to do, and the leader will give a call when they're about over here. They're in this area. They'll tell the guys to hop on payload because it's a full distraction and payload is free. I'll go over a situation how to counter that, but right now what I'm going to say is if you're able to wipe this push, including everyone on payload, do not push payload farther than where it began. And one of the biggest reasons for that is that for raiders to win a phase, things have to go right for them right off the bat. It is very hard for a raiding team to retake phase 2 after the first push. If the first push for raiders fails on phase 2, defenders can repeat a process of an unbreakable hold, and it happens very often. So a leader has to be very careful with how they set up their push, and a defending team has to utilize all possible angles to counter it. But now that that's out of the way, my tip number 2 is that you have to make calls in quick succession. You have to think ahead and ask yourself, what is going to be my next call after this happens, and then after that happens, and then after that happens, all while thinking about different possible scenarios that will cause your call to change. If you, like for example, off of P1, obviously you're going to send your entire team to go drop at a vent, but do you want to, say, send your Devastator to main balc vent to counter the raiders going main balc? Do you want someone to go sewers? Do you want someone with a sword to go sewers? Do you want to split sewers and vents? Do you want to just send your full team off of vents, crouch through the gate, and hope for the best? You could do whatever you want, but that's just the first call. Because imagine you send your entire team to drop off vents off spawn for P1, and then 5 of their players hop in main vent and get a drop on main balc. Very hard to deal with. But yeah, what you have to do is you have to set up a plan. You can't just say everyone go everyone drop right balc and then not know what to do after. You have to make calls quickly. Quickness, speed, whatever leader is faster usually wins. Always remember that. Lastly, utilize classes well. I would say that in this map specifically, your main fragging class is going to be Annihilator. It used to be Recon, but with the addition of Annihilator and swords in certain modes, there's just a lot more variety. There is so much more you can do in so many different ways you can do things. So many more holds, so many more setups. And Annihilator might be able to come close to a Recon's amount of kills. The LMG does 22 to the head and 18 to the body at the exact same fire rate as the assault weapon, but it has a lot more spread. So, sorry, ignore the background noise. Utilize classes properly and know how to play around your class's strengths. Alright, now, let's begin Phase 1. Sorry, command bar doesn't work for that. Enjoy the music. So, off spawn, strategy number 1, standard approach. This is the go-to that all leaders will call, or most. This strategy should be employed when you have normals and are facing normals, or when you have normals and you're facing a super clan or really bad players. This is the best way to engage Phase 1 in almost every scenario. Send your full team to vent access point, and every single person will drop through this vent here. There is no rallying. You will go there all spawn and get to this vent. We get to right back as quickly as possible. And you shoot. That's strategy 1. There is only really one situation that can occur. Situation 1 is that the raiders send their entire team up this truss and get to this balcony about the same time that you drop, and you engage in an immediate gunfight. To counter that situation, nobody heals, everybody shoots their gun. Situation number 2 is that some of their players go to right balc and try to set up a crossfire. In that case, you want to overextend as much as possible into this area of the balcony and avoid a sightline from raider balc and come into a corner and kill them, because they're going to have, if they don't have as many people on right balc, you will probably win that gunfight. Situation number 3, if you're facing a very poor clan, they will all run up into the middle and try to get payload down. In that case, wait on top of right balc and shoot down on them. Situation number 4, they are all going to right balc, but they do not make it, and they are still on the bottom of the truss when you get there. In that case, have your dev come sit up right up here, maybe a sword player. I should have the sword, but I don't know why I don't. Dev and sword, right here. Shoot down. Cool dynamic raise. Anyways. So yeah. Now, strategy number 2. Strategy number 2 is this. There's no real name for it. What you want to do is send your full team to vent access point. Actually, I have to make a correction. On any strategy, no matter what, for Phase 1, your recon will always go main balc. Will always go main balc. Please remember that. Recon will always go main balc no matter what. Never send your recon to vent access point. Strategy number 2 is recon go main balc, and all of your players go vent access point. This strategy involves a lot more healing. Get your Devastator in the front. Dev drops first. Everybody, or half your team, will take out their mediguns, including both of your medics, and will just point their cursors on whoever your Annihilator is. And only a few assaults will shoot. Theory is that if you're able to heal a really good Annihilator enough, he will be able to clear the team. This should only be engaged in, once again, normals versus normals. Or possibly when you have a very normal team and you're facing a lot better team and you only have a few shooters, then tell your shooters and your Annihilator to shoot their guns and have everyone else just heal them. That could work well when you have like someone like Dvalorous on Annihilator who's really good on the class. and he'll be able to kill a handful of people pretty easily. Alright, strategy number 3, recon go main balc. This time, you send all of your assaults to drop regularly over right balc, and your dev and medic, your dev and both medics will go over here into this area as far as he feels comfortable going, and is going to hold main balc vent right here. He might want to hold the red up here to get an easy pick on some of them coming up front because there's no cover there, as you can see. And the trick is that your dev and your medic should not drop, never at all drop onto this vent. All they want to do is prevent the raiders from dropping main balc. So now, for strategy number 3, after your assaults die on right balc, you send all of your assaults to go main balc and shoot payload, while your annihilator and your medic holds down the fort. Strategy number 4, off spawn, you could, I guess, split your team between sewers and vent drop. You might want to have your sword players go sewers or something. It's not a great strategy. I wouldn't use it. But it might work if you put your dev and your medics through sewers to sit back and shoot. Or maybe your assaults and you go to the sewers, sit back and shoot from long range, and your dev kind of pushes up and creates a distraction up front. That could work, possibly. Now that was off spawn. Now let's move on to what to do after you die. So after your assaults die on right balc, immediately what you want to do is send everyone who's off spawn to go main balc if they are dead. If you're employing strategy number 3, your dev and medic will stay in vents for as long as possible and never drop. All of your assaults will come here and will shoot down on payload, simply wasting as much time as possible and preventing them from capping the point. And to be honest with you, that's pretty much all of P1. The strategy of P1 is to go right balc off spawn, get as many kills as possible, send all the people who died, which is going to probably be everyone, back to main balc to prevent a cap, while either your dev and medic holds down vents, or your dev and medic comes to main balc and shoots them. Maybe dev and medic could play up on this crate, or anywhere up here, if you didn't have them hold in vents. Your recon will play on main balc, probably over in this area, depending on where they feel comfortable. Recon has free play, as usual. If at any point their right balc presence becomes too much, very simple. All you have to do is redo it like you're off spawn. Send your team through vents, drop, and try to get picks on right balc. Or, since if they have right balc, they might be sitting over here so that they don't get reconned. Play your sword players in sewers. Your sword players and your dev and your medic in sewers. Assaults go vents, and they push at the same time. Or if you want to be effective, you can say one of them push first, then the raiders start shooting at them, then the second team pushes a couple seconds after. It's like a double whammy. I don't know what you want to call it, but that's a strategy that some good leaders use. So it's a process, repeat a cycle of getting kills on right balc, going to main balc, shooting term, getting kills on right balc, going to main balc, and shooting term. If they do not have terminal capped, you do not have to go to right balc. You only have to go to right balc when they have terminal capped, time is rolling, and their right balc presence is too much to recap. So it's just a constant cycle. Be unpredictable and do crazy things. Now let's go over recapping term for phase 1. Recapping term for phase 1 is very simple and easy. Send your full team. If you are all dead and off spawn, send your full team to rally right here at the bottom of the ramp. Make sure you tell everyone, do not go past the door. Do not go past where you are. You don't want the raiders to know where you are or what you're doing. Slowly move over here. You have the whole defending team with you on your hip. On your hip is what I like to say is on my hip, on my hip. You come over here. You send your full team. Everybody heals. Nobody shoots. Down here. Come over here. Run down here. Avoid shots. Everyone's healing. Everyone is healing with their medigun out. You get to this barrier. You jump down. And you sit right here. Everyone sits right here. And you recap or you pause it. If that's not working and you're having trouble from getting shot from right balc, then what you want to do is send your dev and your medic to go vent drop, and then what will happen is you want to push with the assaults first. So push with the assaults first. Everyone's healing. Everyone's healing. Everyone's healing. Once you get your team to about here, you probably won't. Nobody will die at this point. Once you get your team to about here, dev and medic drop. Then you cross while dev and medic are dropping. It should be free kills, free picks, and then boom, you recap for as long as you can. Chances are you'll cap it, but if you don't, dev might have gotten a ton of picks. So then do the exact same thing again, except put your dev and medic with you on recap. Everyone goes main balc. Raiders will be all spawn trying to get to right balc. They won't have a chance to shoot. Redo the push quickly, fastly, speedily. I don't know if those are words, but you get my point. Right. That's P1. That's all I really need to know for P1 is try to develop a strategy for taking right balc off spawn, and if you can't take it, second push should be to main balc, shoot payload. You don't have to do any other pushes as long as you have main vent and they do not have terminal. Once they get terminal and their hold is secure, start pushing and getting picks on right balc, and that's it. Keep pushing. P1 is a time waster. It's heavily raider-sided. Do not get discouraged if you lose it, because most teams, pretty much every single raiding team, will win P1. Alright. Now let's move on to P2. Okay. Before I even get into this, P2 is by far the most defender-sided phase of Adun. It is very, very hard for raiders to break a good defending hold. With that being said, I want to teach you what is, in my opinion, the most unbreakable defending hold you could have with a standard class setup. The first thing that you want to do, anyone with a sword, if swords are enabled, comes out with their sword, here. I turn on shift lock. And just swords right here. Completely holds warp. This is bottom warp. This is top warp. This is top warp. Tell them just sit right here and sword anyone who comes up. Very simple. If you don't have any swords, then listen to me very carefully. Step 1. Put your Annihilator and 1 or 2 of your medics, preferably 2, in Thanos. Right here. Put them right here and tell them to wait right here. I'll get to that in a second. Next, at most, that's 3 players out of your 12. So 12 minus 3 is 9. Minus 1 is recon, so 8. You have 8 more players to work with, and they will all be assault. You want to get at least one mic player. One mic player sitting right here on balcony. One mic player right here, and 2 other good shots. Not the best players you have, but 2 decent good players to be with him. So that's 3. 8 minus 3 is 5. Put 2 assaults here. Sorry, no. 1 assault here. 1 assault here. 3 to go. Probably 1 assault here. And then 1 assault at this barrier. And 1 assault at this barrier. And that's that. You want to be able to counter the main drop. So you want to have 1 assault there at that barrier, 1 assault at this barrier to shoot the main drop. Then 1 assault here, 1 assault here, and 1 assault here. Raiders will have about 18 people to work with. Here's how you play it. When the door opens and raiders push down into warp room, this person here, you can have multiple assaults play up here for that moment, and they shoot down while they run in. Then your assaults get set up. 1 here, 1 here. At least want to have 1 person on both of these pylons, and at least 1 person on both of these barriers. And main vent is right there. To show you what it looks like from the inside, this is main vent. It could be accessed from P1, and this is where defenders go. So you might be able to have like one assault right up in here. If you really want, you could have one or two assaults in here to counter main vent. It's up to you. But I would say have them set up at the barriers. So, what happens is, if their full team pushes warp, then you just have the sword people play warp and kill warp. When the warp team pushes, they're going to push over here. Once they get to over here, past Thanos, right, and the leader can seize this, you tell Dev and medics to drop. Dev and medics will shoot behind right here. Your balcony team will call out. You have one mic player call out a balcony push. This is very important. The balcony team will not move from balcony. Balcony is very important. You have to rely on your dev, medics, and inside F2 assaults to do damage and kill the main F2 push. The balcony team should not move to go shoot F2 until it is absolutely certain that nobody is pushing balcony. When in doubt, you will have the two assaults here go out over here when the defenders may be over there and shoot from over here. Your mic player will always stay balcony until the end of the push. If they will it's very unlikely that they will push from warp, balcony, and main vent. But if they do, you have to be ready for it. So, if they do make all three pushes, it's very easy. You have people for each angle. The two people at these barriers here will shoot main vent and call it out, including this person right here. It should be free kills, depending on how many they send. And you'll have people up here, and Thanos to shoot F2, and 3 people over here to shoot balcony. If you divide 18 by 3 evenly, it's only 6. So it can only be a maximum of 6 people at each angle, if they really choose to push each 3, which will be pretty easy clears. And if not, you'll be able to get them off the respawn. And even so, they will be moving payload at the same time as pushing. Probably. That's what most good teams do. So you have less people to worry about. And that's it. And if they are moving payload, while the push is happening, don't shoot payload. Kill the push before you shoot payload. Payload is the last priority, like I mentioned earlier before. That's how I would set up P2. You can also set them up by having, if you want to say ignore main vent, you could just have a couple assaults set up here, a couple assaults set up here, and these 4 back pylons then nobody sets up for main vent. Never set anyone up here or here. Play back. They should not be going further than this pylon right here. Play the back, and then just have your dev and medic. Like, Thanos is really important. Thanos is like the best way to counter the warp push. So just have your dev and medics, maybe both medics set up in Thanos, and they drop whenever the raiders get here. If they decide to all push balcony, and there's literally no one F2, then everyone from every side of town, well, as I like to say, everyone and their mother comes over here to shoot balcony, and you just take the gunfight from both angles and try to kill them. Now, situation number 1 is you kill them, and they're all dead, and you won the push. Set it back up the same way. Get the exact same setup over again, because now raiders have to restart the whole thing from scratch, and that's going to waste a lot of time. Do not touch payload if it's not capped. If they failed their push and the payload is like halfway, is like over there, completely ignore payload. You don't need it. Just set it up like it's a fresh phase. Now, situation number 2 is they win the push and they have very few people left. So, very simple. Have your full team push out this door, clear F2, and then you go for a payload retake. I'll get to the payload retake later. Situation number 3 is they absolutely dominate you guys, your defending team, and they have a full F2 hold with 12 or more people. In that case, rally your team here, have your recon maybe set up here or something, as long as they're not pushed up, and then every single assault will come here. It's the first thing you want to do. It's like the best case scenario. Is if all your assaults push your meta heal over here, and come over here, and wait at this door. Then all spawns will go to this door, and you collapse from that door and this door, and shoot. The second F2 retake is, depending on where they're holding, you can send half your team Bear and half your team Thanos, or just utilize Bear and Thanos overall. You know where Thanos takes you. If they're holding towards Warp and in the back by Thanos vent, use Thanos to kill them. If they're holding towards the balcony side, go Bear. Bear will take you right to the balcony, defender balc area, and you can push out here and get some kills. But overall, just go be sporadic, be chaotic. Use different reinforcements, doors, main. You can even go steep, you can go warp, you can do anything you want. Just go at 100 different angles and do it quickly. Make the next call. You say Bear warp this time, and main inside, and Bear and main, and whatever. Just keep shooting, keep pushing until you retake F2, because the thing about a Raider F2 hold is that if their team is very good and your team isn't as good, then a full Raider team F2 hold is pretty unstoppable, pretty unbreakable, very hard to deal with. It's the bane of my existence. It's the one thing I never learned how to fully counter. So just no matter what you do, do not give them F2. F2 is so important. As for a payload retake, last part of this is going to be the terminal retake. So, best case scenario, to be honest with you, is this. Even teams, same skill level, normals, elites, whatever you want to call it. You have F2, they have terminal at about 7 minutes, 6 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever you want to call it. Half to a majority of their team is in and holding, and that's it. A majority of their team is probably going to be on defender balc, or this is called gate, something gate. I forgot the name, but this is gate. Lower gate, they might be holding here, and they might be holding P1. Retaking payload on P2 is very simple. Recon stays up, free play, go for picks. Assign your best assaults, your top 2 to 3, maybe 4 best assaults, shooters, okay, to sit right here and shoot and be shooters. Right? Everyone else, both medics have to be over here. Both medics have to be on this side. So there's two teams. You have your dropping team and your shooting team. Your shooting team goes over here, and I'll explain what they do in a second. Your dropping team is like your bottom players, the one that are not so good, and the medics. So what happens is you rally everyone here. You're ready to say drop in 3, 2, 1, drop. Everyone takes out their mediguns. Nobody's shooting. You come over here, and you sit on the side of terminal right here. You can also get on top if you want it to go faster. Whatever you want to do, and you recap. Very simple. Sit on the side, recap, and just sit there. Now, if a lot of the time you will fully cap it. If you don't, then what you want to do is tell your team to go cubby. Right here. Tell your team to go cubby. You can also go to this cubby, whatever cubby works better. If you're still alive for some reason, just go cubby. Just sit in cubby and shoot them when they try to recap. Wow, that is, I don't know why that is so bright. So that's that. And then what'll happen is, if raiders try to go and recap term, your assaults team will shoot down and try to kill them. If they don't kill them, so situation number one is you fully cap term, but the assaults don't kill them, and they recap term back. And you still have F2. Redo the drop again and shoot again. You'll probably have gotten picks, so yeah. Situation number 2 is you cap term, all of your drop team is dead, and your assaults killed all raiders trying to cap, and raiders are no longer making effort to cap. That's great. Reinforce, stop another F2 push, shooters stay over here, and just wait for them to recap. Or if they never try to recap, simply try to push for defender balc. But if they have no one there, no one's holding it, just wait on F2 and wait for the next push. Very simple. Let the time check down. Situation number 3 is you recap term, but all of your shooters died, because really good teams are going to do this. They're going to push warp when your dropping team drops, and they're going to kill these shooters. The way to counter that is for the next one, here's how you set this up. Recon 1, Dev 2, Medic 3, Assault 4, and maybe another Assault 5. 4 to 5 people, including 1 Dev and 1 Medic. And you do the same shooting thing where you have your 1 or 2 Assaults come shoot and your Recon shoot, and your Dev and your Medic will sit right here and wait for someone to come. Or maybe even if you don't even need your Dev and Medic, just have someone with a sword sit right here. Right. And then your team drops, tries to recap, and boom. If you recap it, they'll try to push warp, and they'll be cut down by an Annihilator or a sword player. And then this team will shoot. If you do have that thing where Dev and Medic have to hold warp, have your Recon play with the shooting team, and shoot people trying to go for term. There's a contingency in which you do that, and you don't cap term, but you still have F2. This time, do the same. Keep doing the same drop, and eventually you'll get it at some point. But yeah. Situation. Another contingency is that your Dev and Medic die, and you get cleared on F2 again, and they win the push on F2. To counter that, it's very difficult to understand, but the best way to do that is to send your Dev, both Medics, and a couple Assaults to go down warp and try to clear out F1. Or off spawn, you can actually send them normally up here to go F1, like over here, or through vent drop, and kill them sitting over here. And then you could drop. Dev and both Medics go over there, clear F1, and then you drop again. The last contingency is that they have a really good hold all over the place, so they have people Defender balc, they have people Q, and they have people Gate. And they're all just shooting you off a terminal, and you can't cap, no matter what you do. The way that you do that, to take care of that, is in a priority of highest to lowest. I'll explain it like this. Highest priority to lowest priority. Q, then Defender, then Gate. If you have people on Q, kill Q immediately. Q is the most important balcony for defenders to have. Most raiding teams will not touch it because defenders can just drop right on top of it, but kill everyone on Q before you're able to make a push. If you have to suicide a bunch of people to kill people Q and not give them any chance, then you have to take it. Do not let anyone on Q. Second is Cubby. I gotta correct myself. Second is Cubby. This is second highest priority because a raider on Cubby can just shoot you while you're recapping right here. So what you want to do to counter that is very simple. Whenever you drop, since Cubby doesn't pose a threat anytime else, whenever you drop, have your Assaults and your Recon target Cubby and shoot Cubby as soon as they peek instead of anything else. Third priority is Defender. The way to do that is the Defender trap might be open, but if it isn't, all you have to do is have your dropping team drop off onto Payload, come under here, go to the ramp, and kill Defender like this, while your defending shooting team can either stay up here and shoot, or come to Q and shoot Defender. It's whatever they prefer. Lastly, the way to counter Gate, or to kill Gate, is to come out onto balcony, drop off of balcony, and come behind them. That will force them out, if anything, or force them to shoot you, in which case your shooting team just shoots down on them. Now, when you drop, you might actually get pushed from balcony, in which case, very hard to counter, because they could just shoot you from afar, shoot your shooting team from afar. So the way to do that is if they keep pushing you from balcony, when you go to recap, then all you want to do is, instead of sending your Dev and Medic to warp, send your Dev and Medic to balcony, and like right over here, and shoot them. So, use your Dev and Medic to counter whatever way they use to push whenever you drop. That simple. And that's all for P2. I'll go to P3 next. Okay, lastly, for P3. Okay, so, 2 teams. Flank team, force field team. Or 3 teams. Flank team, tower team, force field team. Flank team should probably be Dev and 1 Medic. That's all you need. 1 Dev, 1 Medic. They're going to come to P2 and come over here, and they're going to play up here. Just wait. They're just going to wait up here, maybe wait over here. They want to kill Recon over here, and also Play up here, wait for them to push, wait for the main raiding team to push. Raiders are going to have terminal over here, and they're going to push over, like I said before. So the dev and the medic just wait up here, hold this down. When raiders push, dev and medic will come over here, probably drop down here and shoot them in behind. Or maybe they'll play up here. When the raiding team comes over there, they will shoot at them from over here. That's it. Your force field team is your worst players, your worst assaults, and your one other medic. They're going to play right here and right here, preferably on the left side though. And they're just going to shoot the push. Whenever the raiders get past that stairs and are now on the wall where the prime symbol is, everyone who's at force field runs back and runs up into gate. Now, your recon and your 2 or 3 best assaults, maybe just 1 or 2, are going to play tower the whole time and are going to shoot down. And when your force field team pushes back and the raider team gets over here, they're going to shoot down over here, and they're going to shoot gate over there. Shoot down and shoot gate, like that. Do not let them into gate, because once raiders have gate, the game is over. Unfortunately, that's just how it's played. Like, once the raiders have their full team in gate, raiders win the whole raid. Unfortunately, that's how the base works. Now, one thing I want to mention is that there's a spot called Dvalorous Spot. Like, there are certain games, certain bases where there's a person that has a spot in the game. Dvalorous Spot is right here, I believe, or right here. It's either one. And Dvalorous will go on Annihilator or whatever. He'll have 1 or 2 pockets, and he'll just sit here and wait for Payload to get over here. So that way, if raiders take gate, or raiders don't reinforce their Payload player, he'll just get 1, 2, 3 easy picks on Payload. Boom, he's moving Payload back. By himself, with a pocket, very easily can get Payload all the way back to the start, and then raiders have to get out of gate to shoot it. And then, it's a very powerful spot. Dvalorous, actually, we held Valania very, very, very well with it. They could not do a single thing about it because we kept moving Payload all the way back. And a lot of even the best raiding teams have no idea what to do against it. So much so that they will just keep all of their players in gate or in coming through P3 and not assign anyone to go Payload. There was even a time where we did this against a pretty decent team, like a really good UA team, I believe, and in P3 pushed the Payload all the way back to P1 while they had their entire team still sitting in gate, so they couldn't do anything. So it's great to have your Dvalorous here with a couple pockets, just shoot Payload and move it back. And if they go and try to retrieve Payload, then go push your team into gate, retake gate, lock it down, close gate, set back up at force field. Or if they're already pushing it, set back up on the top of gate and try to redo the gate push. Try to redo their gate hold. That's it. And if you really have time, if Dvalorous or whatever is killed and you push Payload back far and you have to reset the phase, put him right back where he was. If you have time. It's a very powerful spot. Shoot him off Payload and do it again. There's not a lot of situations for P3. Situation 1 is they win the push, they take gate, and you have to retake gate. Situation 2 is you win the push, you kill all of them, so push Payload back to the beginning, set up your flank team again, set up whatever they want to go, set up your recon, set up force field, and do the push all over again. For this phase, tell your recon to target their leader, because a leader is required for raiders to win P3. It is the most balanced, even. It's pretty much the only phase in the entire game. Honestly, P3 is the only real phase of Adun. Just kill their leader and set up regularly. The other situation is they get gate. Now I will teach you how to retake gate. What you want to do is, you can do full team. This is gate vent. It'll take you up and into this room here. 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 Not that room. Into this room here. As you can see. So, you could start off by sending your full team over here. Drop down. Try to kill them. if you... sorry, let me go over this. Second thing you can do is split it. Half your team... You're probably going to need your full team to do this, but half your team go sewer vents, or gate vent, and half your team go gate main, flank, and you push through and you get kills. If the teams are balanced and fair, you could probably kill all of them and retake gate within a few pushes. If the raiding team is a lot better, you're not going to really be able to take gate. If you are a lot better than the raiding team, then you'll be able to take gate in one push, one solid push. If nothing is working at all and they keep on continuously reinforcing, and they are playing it very well where they close gate whenever they're shooting and they only open gate when they have reinforcements, just drop your team through this vent and close gate by suicide. It's the best you can do. The last push, when they have full team in gate, or they have to they have terminal, is this. Send probably dev, medic, couple good assaults up here, and they go Avian. This is Avian. And it drops them right over here. Where gate is. And if gate is open, I'll show you. Okay. If gate is open, then you can have your team players shoot here, shoot these crates, kill anyone over here, even kill hill, and you will have a flank right here, and it will allow you to possibly recap term, because from gate they are not able to shoot you if you stand over here. And recap it like this. If you successfully kill everyone on this side of terminal, sit right here and cap, you can cap it for free. A really good team is going to split their team evenly but have more people in gate, so it might be pretty hard. But some not as skilled teams will have their all 16, 17, 18 players in gate, and then this is just free. And you can just recap. And when they drop, they're probably going to drop if you're able to cap it, so then you just drop through gate vent and you kill people gate when they go to cap it. But this phase is really balanced, very fair. People reinforce pretty much at the exact same rate. Just be wary of it. You have to, once again, win the first push, and that's about it. If you don't win the first push, then, well, you need to, it's a lot harder as it goes along. So, yeah, that's about it. That's as far as I can go. For a little outro, get kills, don't die, make good calls, and don't be an idiot. That's it. I taught you all the strategies. You can practice by leading, doing some DTs, and just practicing on your own. That's all I got. I'll see you guys in the next one.